Welcome, dear listeners. Are you ready to delve into the darkness once again? From inexplicable paranormal encounters to unsettling mysteries that remain unsolved, we've heard it all in our past 2 seasons, haven't we? But rest assured, the chills are far from over. In fact, we're just beginning to scratch the surface of the unknown. In Season 3, we've gathered a bone-chilling collection of tales that will test the boundaries of your imagination and question the reality you think you know. So, as we take this next step into the shadows together, I want to extend a warm thank you to our loyal listeners who have journeyed with us so far, and a hearty welcome to the newcomers who have just stumbled upon our dark little corner of the internet. Remember, there's no turning back now. Once you've peered into the darkness, it peeks back at you. So, turn down the lights, put on your headphones, and let the stories unfold. And, of course, remember to breathe, it can get rather unnerving. Welcome to Season 3. Under the sun, Edlin and I walked among the many souls, scattered around the place and busy exploring the beautiful summer landscape. From the east, sounds of drums, chants, laughters and screams of joy could be heard as they were all doing the most to appreciate the slice of life provided to them, even if it was for only one day. On our way to the north, Edlin would not stop talking about random things. I looked up at the clear blue sky, admiring a few birds flying high, and something I thought about earlier returned in my mind. Edlin, I called, interrupting her train of words. What's up? She replied. What's your plan exactly for my family? I asked. I also wanted to ask you just that. What are your plans for them? She asked back. What do you mean? I want to save them. RedEye threatened to kill them and you told me you had a plan, I said. They all vessels for now, with souls within them. Unfortunately for you, your baby sister got the jackpot with Razor inside of her, one bloody freak. And right now, you on a quest. So my question is, what you going to do if they stand in your way? Like between you and an altar. You ready to face your own family? She questioned. I stopped walking, unable to answer anything, struck by the valid point raised by her question. Would I be able to hurt my sisters or my parents? Look, I know you worried about your family. But the thing is, you and them will have much more to worry about if you don't do what you gotta do. Edlin spoke. My only response was a nod. I found myself involved in 2 races against 2 clocks. I did not know if I would destroy all the altars in time, and how much time did I have left before RedEye makes his move on my family. Edlin and I resumed walking toward the north, resolute to end the nightmare. We reached our destination at 11:48 a.m., immediately welcomed with terror screams from the Helbert family gambrel barn. Several souls exited the building from any opening they could reach, be it door or window, terrorized by an enemy yet to be seen. With complete disregard for us, they were running for their lives when Edlin managed to catch one by the arm for a much-needed inquiry. Hey, what's going on? What's in there? She asked the fearful soul, which response only came in one word. Hybrid, he said before freeing himself from Edlin's grip. At that instant, I witnessed something I never thought I would. Edlin made several steps backwards, trembling with worries covering her face, and her eyes riveted on the barn. Hybrid. What did he mean by that? I asked, only to be ignored by Edlin. Edlin. I called. Terence, you sure it's here? She asked. Hey. Don't call me that here, you want me to get caught. I mean, I'm sure the map is leading right here. I answered. One of those things. Here. She quietly spoke, shaking unconsciously because of something all of them seemed to dread. Okay, let's go, Edlin said. She was afraid. Edlin and I walked through the open front door and entered the barn. It was filled with random large objects like furniture and appliances in a certain way, as if whoever brought all those objects in there tried to hide something placed at the back. We then spotted the 2 shining white eyes of a soul, hiding behind a fridge and gesturing us to hide. We split as she opted for an turned over tractor while I chose to hide under an upside down couch. I then heard several people behave strangely, saying random words while getting closer, so I armed myself with the 2 sticks, remembering to constantly check on the time. Shut the megawatt kill cause all catch powerful as please your that no let help mouth involve. The nightmarish creature said with different voices for each word pronounced, after it appeared above us. Despite its head constantly twitching, I recognized the patriarch of the Helbert family, crawling on the ceiling like a spider with his elongated and bloody limbs. The hiding soul then attempted a reckless dash to the front door, immediately spotted by the creature. I recognized Melvin, one of the village farmers, as he got immobilized by a strange power. The creature then jumped on the farmer, pinned him on the floor, and plunged its eyes into his. "Go? Run, little boy," he said with difficulties, before the monster absorbed life out of him. We could see the soul inside Melvin's body entering the eyes and mouth of the creature. It then gained a little bit in size and probably in power, making me understand why it was feared and called a hybrid. It was a mix of several souls stuck in one tortured vessel that might soon reach its limit. I checked the time and read 11:54 am. Running footsteps resounded on the upper floor. I looked up and saw Collins taking the opposite direction to that of the front door. I remembered him being the vessel to the soul of a little boy named Carson, the one I had obtained the gun from. Protect, blast, boy, slaughter, just a gather, little cruel, destroy, strike, run, space, go back. The hybrid spoke then went after the little boy. Carson. Edlin screamed in distress and panic. Mommy. Carson replied, turning around only to see the monster speeding towards him, and the boy froze. I quickly retrieved a salt projectile from the backpack, tore a hole in the plastic with my teeth and threw it at the creature. It dodged it effortlessly and spotted Edlin trying to reach her son. However, the hybrid used its power on her and she froze, while the boy got released, and he fell on the floor. The monster could not control several souls at a time. It then tried to absorb Edlin, and I launched a second salt bomb to help her, but it diverted the plastic bag outside with its knee covered by jeans. It then released Edlin, and attacked me. Using the pile of furniture to my advantage, I made my way further into it, almost crushed as the hybrid used its brute force to try to catch me. When I could no longer progress in the pile, I checked the time on the watch and read 11:57 am. It reached out to catch my foot, almost making itself stuck, and I threw one of the sticks at it. The weapon went through its hand and the hybrid screamed in pain, retreating rapidly. Terrence. It's here. Upstairs at the back, Edlin shouted. Moving through the pile, I managed to get myself out and saw the monster struggling to remove the stick from its hand as the salt kept on burning it. I'll take care of the freak, go to the altar, Edlin said. However, when I was about to take the stairs, the hybrid, in a last and desperate attempt to remove the stick, slammed its hand on the tractor so strong that it catapulted the weapon towards Edlin. The rod lodged in her chest and she stood surprised for a few seconds before collapsing on the ground. No, Mommy! Carson shouted. I ran upstairs and found my way to the north altar. It looked very similar to the south one, with many human skulls being part of it. I took one step forward only to see the hybrid land in front of it, determined to protect it. I took one more salt bag, put its whole content in my mouth and threw the empty folded plastic bag at the creature. It dodged it easily again, lunged at me and pinned me on a wall. It seemed to try absorbing my soul and looked surprised when it did not work, since unlike everyone else, I was pretty much alive. In response, I spat the most salt stored in my mouth right on its face. It released me, writhing and screaming in pain, and even fell downstairs in its struggle. I checked the time and read 12 p.m. with the second hand already at 50. I ran towards the altar, dove forward and touched the altar just in time before 12:01 p.m. It shone with an increasing blue light, until the brilliance vanished, and the altar crumbled into ashes. One more down, I thought. Experiencing the ordeal for a second time, Carson let out cries that reached my ears and my heart. I stood up and stormed downstairs, even though there was nothing I had in mind to reverse the dire situation. On his knees, Carson held his dying mother in his arms, who still did her best to reassure him by pure maternal love and instinct. Edlin, No. I quietly said, kneeling next to her, not knowing what to do. Like really? You need a presidential decree to remove this thing. It fucking burns, she said, in good old Edlin fashion. Yes madam, I said before removing the stick from her chest. Blood did not even come out as the wound turned black due to the severe burns. Please mommy, don't leave me again. Carson pleaded. Don't worry my baby, mommy's not going far. Edlin replied. Edlin, I'm so sorry, I said, feeling guilty because something that belonged to me had wounded her. What you sorry for? This is the best moment of the day for me. I finally got to see my son once again, just one last time, she said, caressing her son's face. If only I knew, he's the one who gave me the gun. I revealed, not really knowing what to say. I'm not surprised. He's a good boy. Edlin replied. Listen Terence, before I go. All this is a lot for just a young boy like you, I know. But I need you to know that you're the strongest boy I've ever seen, after my son of course, she said, making both of us chuckle. I know it's tough, but you'll put an end to this. She added. If I fail to stop the blackout I can always see you next year, right? I joked. I don't think so, there are a lot of souls in line each year, so usually we only get one shot at this. Coming back year after year and gaining extra powers, that's a luxury reserved to RedEye's lieutenants. She revealed. I know you'll succeed, Outlander. That's why I gave you that special task, for after the blackout. Promise me you'll do it. Promise me again. She requested. I promise. I replied. Before you leave me with my son, there's something important I wanted you to keep in mind. It might be true or not, but the leader of the resistance shared that info only with me and Byron. You have to find Byron when you can. She spoke. Okay. So what is it? I asked. We think RedEye is, Edlin tried to speak, but instead, she gave up her last breath, as Carson and I watched her shining white eyes slowly lose their brightness and return to Adelaide's normal human eyes. Edlin was gone, and of course, so was her vessel, escaping justice for her crimes committed against the village and its residents. Mommy, mommy. Mommy ye. Carson repeatedly called, heartbroken. Carson, come on, let's go, it's over, I said, trying to place my hand on his shoulder to comfort him, but he pushed me so violently that I rolled on the ground and ended up meters away from him. Leave me alone. Leave my mommy alone. Go? He shouted. I figured that it would be best to just let him be. Next to me, completely forgotten, the hybrid was making low gurgling sounds since the salt burnt his entire face and a good part of his neck. At that moment, I remembered who that person was prior to being a vessel and a hybrid. He was the patriarch of the Helbert family. Does it mean that I now have blood on my hands? Did I just kill? I thought. Trembling, I packed up my things and exited the barn, hyperventilating again. More seconds elapsed. Fear, darkness, death, blood, horror and more had surrounded me since the beginning of the blackout, and I could no longer handle it. I walked behind the barn, hoping to be unseen, fell on 4 and just screamed, again and again, during at least 20 minutes. I had to let it out, I was losing my mind. After I managed to regain composure, I stood up, dusting my outfit off. I checked the time after looking at the sun, 12:56 p.m. I then verified the location of the East altar in the diary and realized that I may have to cross paths with the many souls that had gathered to celebrate life. Deprived of helping hands, I took the direction of the East, dreading what awaited me there. Alright, my friends, we've reached the end of yet another eerie journey through the shadows of Reddit's most chilling tales. I sincerely hope you found these stories as riveting and spine-chilling as I did. The world is full of mysteries, isn't it? Remember, if you've enjoyed today's exploration into the unknown, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the podcast with your friends who also love a good scare. It's always more fun to explore the shadows together. A big heartfelt thank you to all of our subscribers, listeners and patrons out there. Your support is invaluable, it keeps the lights on here, and more importantly, keeps us delving into the eerie corners of the internet to bring you the best scary stories out there. If you've encountered any creepy occurrences or have your own chilling stories to share, don't hesitate to reach out to us via subreddit chronicles@gmail.com. We always love hearing from you, and who knows, your story might just feature in one of our future episodes. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your hearts brave, and your lights on. After all, you never know what's lurking in the shadows. This is your host, signing off. Stay safe and keep exploring the unexplored.